Hey everybody, welcome back inside the Force here. Dave Cottingham here with Hannah Burr. How are you,
Hello.
Hannah?
I am well. How are you?
Good, good. Back after a couple weeks. I was on vacation last week
Yes.
at the parks, and you are in, where are you at? Atlanta?
Atlanta for work
Okay,
on
yeah,
a set.
okay,
This is why I've got my iPhone as my light. It's so grainy. I don't have my mic.
yeah. That's all right. You sound good.
Oh good.
All good. Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to be able to even do one this week, but glad you were able to make this happen. Yeah, I had the usual trip to Disney. Fun in the sun and riding rides and all that stuff. It's funny because I think in Star Wars related, obviously, going to Galaxy's Edge and things like that. I think it's still got. I was walking around. I just remember thinking like, this is still pretty neat. Like it's still, and I'll tell you that what kind of revitalized me, which I think you'll love, is that that obviously that Rey's walking around sometimes and Kylo Ren's walking around sometimes. So I had not seen this before, but they had an actual meet and greet like for Chewbacca out by the Falcon. Like you got in the line, and versus before when they kind of walk around, you kind of just be able to take pictures. You really couldn't stop them and do stuff really.
Right.
And Chewbacca has, I think he still has a meet and greet at Launch Bay, doesn't he? Does he not? I thought he did.
I haven't been to
So,
Launch Bay in so
so I thought
long.
it was pretty neat that he over by, like right, if you're looking at the Falcon on the right side, just under like the cave, the siding there. It's like he
Mhm.
had a little thing, and I thought he was just standing over there. So when we went over there, I saw a line, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's get in line." And so we got in line, and we had just met up with a family that we like. One of Eliza's, my youngest's gymnastics friends, her family was there. Brooke planned her trip and all that stuff, so we knew they were there. So we all were there. They have two kids too, a girl and a boy, and then of course my two girls. So we all got in line, and the funniest thing happened was, we got up next, and there wasn't like a photo pass person there, so you had to take your own pictures. But Chewbacca started just like talking to him, like obviously in Shriwook, right? And of course they're like not knowing what to do, and he looks at me, and I had my shirt that had BB-8 on it, and he looks at me and he starts talking to me, like kind of pointing to them. So I kind of figured it out, and so I started really just interacting with him, like I knew what he was saying. Like he was like pointing at them and me, and I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "They don't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry." And then he's like, and then he points at my shirt and BB-8, and I said, "Oh yeah, BB-8." He's like, "Yeah," he's like shaking his head, and he's like pointing at them again. I said, "No, I think my girls may have met him, but they were real young." And I was just playing along with it, and I'm telling you, that was like it was like the first time where you're definitely immersed when you're there, right? When you're walking around the streets, and it's Star Wars. You don't see anything else of Disney around. That's the beauty of being there. But I'm telling you, after I was doing that for a few minutes, I'm like, I'm in Star Wars, man. I'm in Star Wars talking to Chewbacca. He's interacting. It's like that made it way more real. You know what I mean? Like versus just going to like Launch Bay and like getting in line and standing, barely talking to they never talk to you. Usually just go to pictures.
Right.
But this was a lot cooler, and Vi's around, and she talks to you a little bit, stuff like that, but it's not Chewbacca. That was pretty cool. That was really cool.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
And I regret not having like any. I don't think Brooke filmed it. I had to ask her if she filmed anything. I think we just got pictures, but I was so bummed that I didn't have my phone out for that.
That's incredible, man. Oh my gosh. What an experience.
It was. That was really, I'm telling you, it was been there. I've been going for 10 years now, and it's like that was like that brought it all back again in the Star Wars world for me. Anyway, I didn't even plan to tell that story. It just kind of popped in my head.
I love that you did, though.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that. Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. That's awesome.
But I failed to say thanks to our patrons as always for the support. We appreciate that. Of course, I did post a reaction video to the Tales of the Underworld trailer, which we're going to be talking about up on Patreon yesterday. So wanted to share that. And in that video, I shared my one special gift I got myself at Disney last week. So I'm going to share it now. I'm telling you, I was not expecting this. Maybe I don't know the last time you went into Doc Andor's.
It's been a while.
Rare Antiquities shop.
Okay.
So I was in there back. We went back in December during Christmas, and I remember walking in there, and I didn't. And at that point, they have these little mini busts, and I got the Yoda one then because I never saw that. You know, I'm talking about the one. It's in my office at work.
Yeah.
Well, I go in there this time, and they have some Sith busts. And they had Vader, and I think they have Maul. And then they have this guy, and I was like,
oh, no way.
I'm getting this. Darth Bane. Can you see that without it being soft?
Oh, my word.
Yeah, this is pretty freaking cool.
I do love the fact that like Darth Bane is becoming more and more canon. Like,
yes.
Oh,
I think this might be telling us something. That there's
I was about to say
coming.
that's a huge implication. That is,
it is
huge. The fact that they're like, okay, we're making Darth Bane merch.
Yes. Right.
What's coming? And
it's funny because I don't know if I'm sitting in there as soon as I see it, I know who it is. I don't even know if anybody else knew who this was.
They're probably just like, oh, cool. Alien creature.
Right. But he's sitting up there with like Vader and Maul but I was like, oh my God, that is so crazy that they made this.
The implications. I cannot right now. Oh my word.
I know. I want to I might have to put them on the shelf back there somewhere so I can show
you
them
might.
off. Got to figure out what to do with them because I love that thing. Anyway, that was great. That was I didn't really see any shirts and stuff that I wanted. And I got to be honest, that's the one thing I will say that I dare to say, I hate to say it, but I've been highly disappointed with the Star Wars merch at the parks. Like, do you know, in Hollywood Studios, when you're going down Hollywood Boulevard when you first walked in, and that there's a shop on the left at the very end that's usually all the Star Wars stuff's gone out of there.
It's gone?
It's gone. There's no Star Wars stuff in there.
Maybe because it's all over in Batu now.
But I went back in Batu. There's hardly any there too.
Yeah, it's true.
I really couldn't find hardly any Star Wars stuff.
Do you have to go to the what is it called? Is it called the docking bay at Springs?
Well, the docking bay is the food.
Okay, so it's not docking bay, but you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're saying Springs.
Yeah, it's Springs.
There is something there, but again, they have a Vader line out there right now that's got like a hoodie with Vader stuff on it. That's really it. That was very, very. There's no Andor stuff. You'd think there'd be Andor stuff.
You would think there would be Andor stuff,
right?
Skeleton Crew. Something.
I don't know. I don't know. I've been highly disappointed because I've been wanting some new Star Wars merch, but I just really can't find anything. Anyway, That's my trip news right now. Yeah.
Glad you like it.
Okay, let's talk about some trailers here.
Yes.
We'll just kind of briefly. There was a second Andor trailer that came out after our last episode.
I don't think it blew me away as much as the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, it was shorter. It was only like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
It didn't really. I don't feel like it increased it too much. I mean, there was a little more shots of like Bix and, gosh, I forgot her name. The girl that's helping Luthen.
Oh, yeah.
A little more of her. Some action shots, but it was, I tell you what I am doing, Hannah, is I'm rewatching season 1 now, and man, it is good.
It is good.
It really is good.
I cannot wait for it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. With the second trailer, I think it just kind of was riding on the hype. It wasn't like, oh, here's a brand new snippet of what
Yeah.
is to come.
Yeah. In fact, after we're done here, I'm on the 6th episode, which is The Eye. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that again.
Oh man. Oh man.
So trailer, yeah. I mean, and look, I think we got 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, and then this thing drops. So, Star Wars Celebration, of course, is coming soon. That drops April 18th to the 20th. Of course, 2 days later, that's when the premiere of Andor takes place. So people at Celebration are probably going to be able to experience. I think they're going to be able to experience the premiere there of the first 3 episodes.
Lucky ducks.
Lucky ducks. So more to come on that. We'll talk more as next week or before the season starts.
Yeah.
A couple little bit of news though, just so people are aware. This is still again the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3. And that movie is getting re-released in theaters April 25th, leading up to Star Wars Day, obviously May 4th.
I can't believe that's been 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. I was 12. I was in middle school. Dad
Did you see it then?
I did. That was my first Star Wars movie in theaters. My dad took me out of school early so I could see it the day, like, you know how that's when they started doing like the late Thursday night showings?
Yeah. Well, they were doing midnights then too. Yeah.
Yeah, they did midnights. But before then, they would sometimes do extra screenings. He got tickets and he took me out of school early so that we could see Revenge of the Sith that Thursday.
Nice. Yeah, my favorite memory of episode 2 and 3 because episode 2 came out in 2002 and then this in 2005. I had a friend of mine that was working at the Cinemark in Hamburg.
Oh,
right. At both times. So he was there. He was a manager there. So both times, 2 and 3, a group of us, like 10 of us, for the midnight showing. He let us in first. Like, so we got in there like 11.
Wow.
And sat front, wherever we wanted first. Because back then you didn't have assigned seats.
Nope, you just pick and sit where you want.
Exactly. So when they opened the doors like at like 11:45 or whatever, people just rushed in. They were rushing in there we were already sitting in there with our popcorn. Oh, it was great. Amazing. So I'm gonna go see it in theaters. My daughter wants to go see it because she hasn't seen any of those movies, in theaters. So I think I'm gonna go do that. I want to go see it because episode 3 is one of my favorites.
It's really good.
Yeah, and with that, even though I'm a little weirded out by how late this is coming out, in October they're re-releasing the novel with all new cover. Apparently they're saying it's like an expanded edition of it, so it's a little more stuff in there, I think.
I'm gonna have to get that because that's my favorite novel adaptation of a Star
Yeah, I
Wars.
think you remember. I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
Oh yeah, hands down.
yeah. I might have to listen to it. I haven't read or listened to that one. There's a lot more Anakin stuff, right?
Yes, like you get way more into his head and his thought process. And then during the fight with Obi-Wan, you actually get into Obi-Wan's head and you actually can pinpoint when you watch the fight, you can pinpoint the moment where Obi-Wan's like, he's gone.
Really
He's gone. Like if you read it, Obi-Wan gets to a point where he's like, and something clicks and he's just like, he's gone, and he switches from defensive to offensive, and you can actually like pinpoint it when you watch the fight. You can pinpoint where he has that thought process of I got to switch it on the offensive. I can't keep being defensive here.
interesting.
Oh my gosh, it's so heartbreaking. I think I like wept through that entire bit of the book.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Okay, so one other thing is I just read this that there is a new VR game that they are working on. Star Wars is working on,
Okay.
and I'm not know if I'm too excited about this because it might not be for me, even though I like the VR stuff. But
Yeah.
it's called Beyond Victory, and I'm not sure what this means. I failed to look this up, but they're calling it a mixed reality playset, which I'm not sure why they call it that.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's for the Meta, Meta
Okay.
Quest is for the
Mhm.
Quest goggles, which I have, and well, again, this thing sucks too because it says it's only for Meta 3. I only have the Meta 2, so I don't think I'm going to buy it just for this game.
All right, I just
But
want to
it
give a quick PSA. Can these game companies stop saying that games are only exclusive to certain consoles? Like, can you be like, hey, this console gets the first edition, but then we open it to everybody else? Why do you have to just gatekeep it like that? Sorry, continue.
Agreed. No, I totally agree because I don't see why. There's no reason why this couldn't be on the previous Quest. Anyway, you basically what this does is it says it puts you inside the world of pod racing. So it's a pod racing game basically. It takes place during Solo, a Star Wars story.
Okay.
So you're about 10 years before Episode 4,
Okay.
and you are partnered. You're actually a person named Volo Bolas.
What a name.
Yeah, and you're teamed up with Sebulba from Episode 1.
Okay. Interesting.
So I guess you go around. There's no footage. It's only a graphic. There's nothing yet. But there is a prequel comic that sets up the storyline
Okay.
that they are releasing at Celebration. And apparently at Celebration you can kind of see a glimpse of this. I remember at the last Celebration they had like VR stations where you can play the Vader thing. So apparently you can experience this for the first time there a little bit before it comes out. There is
Okay.
no release date of this thing yet, but it just says you can kind of see what it's about at Star Wars Celebration.
Very cool.
So more to come on that. I have been quite surprised that it's taken this long to do another VR game. It's been a few years.
Right.
So
Interesting.
anyway, thought everybody would know about that if you guys are into the VR stuff. But again, I don't understand what it means by mixed reality playset.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know what that means.
confuses me.
Okay. Slow on the comics side. There's only a couple comics coming out this month, actually. Jedi Knights #2 just came out. Legacy of Vader #3 next week, and at the end of the month, there's a High Republic Fear of the Jedi #3, and then the Rise of Skywalker adaptation. That's really the only comics running. I think there's more coming this summer, but right now those are the only comics kind of running right now.
Okay.
Reign of the Empire, I'm still in the middle of, novel-wise. There's an Acolyte novel coming still on May 6th. Trials of the Jedi, which is June 17th, and that wraps up the High Republic. And then August 5th is the Bad Batch novel, Sanctuary, still coming your way. Okay, so Tales of the Underworld. Now, this came out last week when I was in Disney. You sent me, I didn't even see it yet until you sent me your reaction first, and I was like, I guess something came out. So I went and watched it eventually, and was surprised because obviously we kind of sensed that there was going to be some kind of animated series, and this might not be. There still might be an animated series that gets announced at Celebration, but this is the shorts, and we got Tales of the Underworld. So, based on your reaction, what do you think?
First off, as soon as I saw that the trailer dropped, it was in the middle of a workday. So sorry, Dave. I had to immediately watch it.
Yes.
I'm First off, we guessed that there was going to be an animated show. You predicted it was going to feature Ventress.
Well, I did think there was going to be a whole series. So,
But
yeah,
we're
could be
getting,
setting up still.
like, this is going to be so cool. We're going to get more Ventress. We're going to get more Bane. Like Tales of the Underworld. What? So that also makes me go, well, what the heck is Ventress into right now? Like, she's clearly not Sith anymore. She's not a Jedi either. So what's going on? So I think this is going to be very, very interesting to see. That I find it interesting that they picked Bane out of all the bounty hunters to go with for Tales of the Underworld. But maybe this is how Bane got started. Maybe this is what it is, or we like see how people became a bounty hunter or whatever. I don't know, but I am very excited for it. The Tales of series are some of the best that Disney Star Wars has put out, so I cannot wait for this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely excited about Asajj. I think the fact that they brought her back in the Bad Batch was a big controversial moment because most Star Wars fans that followed her didn't think she was alive.
Yeah, we thought she died in Dark Disciple.
Yeah, I mean technically she did. I mean somehow they're still going to explain. I mean they had a funeral and everything. It's like, okay, maybe she wasn't. Maybe she wasn't fully dead. I guess I don't know. But they'll have to explain that, I feel like, and I think that's what this will probably bring that up a little bit.
Good.
There is another person in here that's wielding a lightsaber.
Yes, it's almost like she's taking on a little Padawan or something. Like,
or it's another Padawan, like another youngling that survived, and
maybe
Padawan probably not youngling because this is right after Bad Batch. This is only a couple years after the Jedi have fell.
So it would be a Padawan.
Probably Padawan, yeah. There's some people speculating that it could be, obviously. I think it's going to be a new character.
Yeah, I think it's going to be new.
Yeah. But, I'm thinking the same thing you are. Is she's not, she's labeled as a bounty hunter in this.
Yes.
So she's not a Sith, she's not a Jedi, but she's still wielding a lightsaber and she's still using the Force. So she's very much like Ahsoka in a sense, just she's a hired gun,
Yeah.
But I think this is a step into is she doing good? Because she's getting hunted by an Inquisitor here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, well, maybe this is, or I have no idea. The fact that she's being hunted makes me go, okay, she's on the good side.
Right.
But what does that even mean?
Yeah.
If it's called Tales of the Underworld, why is she in there if she's not a bounty hunter per se?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And maybe the story is she was hired to find this Padawan. She found him or them. Um,
Well, that's true.
not fall in love with them, or like fall in love meaning like, oh my gosh, maternal instincts, but it could be she then realized the true reason behind this and was like, nah, I'm not for this.
Hmm.
This isn't.
Hmm.
So this could be how she got out of bounty hunting. You have somebody who
Right.
gets into it, somebody, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a story about how Bane got into bounty hunting and how she got out of bounty hunting. Because it's
That's not a
always
bad idea.
two different, like they're foils.
Hmm.
It's always the what if. So maybe that's the story we're going to get.
Yeah, they all. Yeah, it seems like the pattern obviously is they choose two different characters that are they're part of the same faction,
But
but
they
they've
make
got
different
two.
choices.
Yeah, they've got two kind of. Is it? It's not parallel. It's like
Like it's foils.
it's what
Foils.
foils. Yeah,
Because in the first one, you had Dooku and Ahsoka. What happens when the Jedi Council betrays them? One went dark side, one went Wayseeker.
yeah.
Uh,
Fulcrum.
then
Yeah,
with Tales of the
Empire.
Empire, you have one who defied the dark side, one who wanted to be with it. Then you have this. So I can't help but think that this is how she gets out of bounty hunting, and this is how he gets into it.
That's not a bad idea. That's good. Probably. Yeah, that probably makes sense because the Bane one seems like he's younger. Like it's a different time period.
Exactly.
It's not the same time. Well, actually, I take that. No, no, it has to be sooner. Because by the time Clone Wars comes around,
Yeah,
he's like a
that's
full
true.
fledged bounty hunter. This seems like this is like right before that
Yeah, yeah. This would be
kind of
earlier.
thing. Yeah, I think it has to be earlier. I guess. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he doesn't have his like the mask part in this.
Exactly. That's why I think it's him younger. This is
Yeah,
how he became a bounty hunter.
right. And this is her getting out. That makes sense. Which again, I think still is a huge possibility at setting up something bigger for her.
Oh yes.
Down the road if she's going to be alive during the years of the Empire. I mean, Bane has made the jump to live action. I think it's about time she does.
I don't know who you would have her be played as, though. I don't know what actor you would have.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they. I mean,
You'd have to get a no name, in my opinion.
yeah, and the hard part is again, it's one of those hard parts where she's so defined by her voice. Someone would have to really, it's like Thrawn. Like they almost had to get Lars,
Yeah.
and because no one else would have sounded like Thrawn, you know.
Well,
So
maybe Mark Thompson, but
well, that's true. You probably could have got someone to be able to do it, but
it wouldn't be the same.
yeah, it would have been, or try to fake it with ADR or something like that. Maybe I don't know,
Oh,
but you don't think you don't think that would work
it'd be too weird.
because a lot of people made that. Like a lot of people. I remember early on when Ahsoka was making the jump that they wanted Ashley Eckstein to still voice her,
Oh.
but it is hard to do. You can't really do it,
Well,
especially
looking.
when you get someone like Rosario Dawson, who's a big star. You got to get her you got to give her the whole role.
Yeah. Well, but looking at Nika Futterman, I think is how you say her last name. She
Oh, yeah,
she could be her.
the
I'm
girl that
just looking like
plays
she
her.
has a defined jawbone, cheekbones,
Yeah,
defined features. Throw her in a short blonde wig. I think she could do it.
has she been on camera like as an actress in anything?
I don't know. Well, she is an American actress, singer, poker player, and voice artist.
Poker player. Oh, interesting. What's her
Apparently,
name?
Nika Futterman.
Oh yeah. Okay, I knew that. Interesting.
Let me see if she's been on camera. I'm just curious if she's been on camera now.
Hmm.
It looks like a lot of voiceover, but she could be on camera. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Because she could pull off Ventress.
I think so. Pull up a picture of her. I'm fairly certain she could pull her off. Like as soon as you see her high cheekbones and her strong jaw, she also has a bit of a long neck. I think you could
Oh
easily,
yeah.
she could easily play her.
Oh, actually, she could.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I actually think she could. Crazy. It's funny how sometimes they do cast the actors in animation like the likeness, even though they're not even on camera.
And they don't even mean to. And it could be that they're like, oh, this is what we envisioned, but then they like morph it because they'll see the facial expressions they do. And to do that, I don't know. I don't know. I'm throwing stuff out there
She
now.
definitely could. Yeah, she definitely could.
Or she could.
Like cut her hair real short, kind of throw some white makeup on her,
Oh, yeah.
pale her out a little bit. That would be incredible. She played her and then got the whole voice going.
Oh, she could do it.
That'd
She
be
could.
great. Yeah. So overall, I think it's a good. It's two characters I think that have been pretty popular over the last few years. Asajj especially, I think Bane was popular. I mean, people loved him in Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. I don't think he had enough screen time. Like in Boba Fett to really.
To make that much of a difference.
Yeah. Now I will say, and I said this in my reaction video. I will say I'm hoping, which I don't have a lot of confidence in, but I'm hoping in the Bane arcs that. Do you remember us? I think you probably know this, but we talked about it on the show. Is that there was unfinished Clone Wars episodes of him and Boba Fett.
Interesting.
Yeah, where it kind of explained that he was one of the main contributors to Boba Fett's training and becoming a bounty hunter.
Huh?
Once his father died, once Jango died, and Bane, one of the animatic episodes that I watched at Celebration one year, it showed the confrontation that they had because Boba Fett didn't like something or do. But Boba Fett has armor. That's how he gets that dent in the helmet. Like Bane shoots him in it. I wonder if they're going to go there. I don't think they are.
Maybe.
I don't think they are, but because it seems like it's more about like this friend of his or childhood friend,
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll do that, but maybe.
We'll see. Hopefully.
But I thought that's what they were kind of going, because these seems like these Tales of almost seem like they're trying to like finish out some of these Clone Wars story arcs, but
Yeah.
But I don't think like Barriss Offee and the Empire one was one of them. Even though Morgan wasn't really, she was never in Clone Wars, but
Yeah.
so anyway, so I guess we're both excited about this
Oh, heck yes.
coming at us on May the 4th,
Mm-hmm.
which still lends to the, because right around that time, Andor is going to be ending, so it's still kind of, it doesn't give us really any content yet for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But that's why I think there's going to be something announced at Star Wars Celebration. There's going to be some animated series, and it's going to come out later this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if I can say it's about Asajj anymore, though.
Who knows?
But I think it's going to be something. So, a couple of things I wanted to just mention, like, so now we have Tales of Jedi, we have Tales of the Empire, and we got Tales of the Underworld. I'm thinking, I was thinking about it today, like, what other Tales of could be coming? And the two or three of them that I written down is obviously that you could have Tales of the Sith.
Yes.
You could have Tales of the Rebellion, or
Mm-hmm.
Tales of the Rebels, probably Rebellion, Tales of the Rebellion. And the other one was Tales of the Republic. So, because you have like Empire, Republic, Jedi, Sith, and then
Yep.
Underworld, maybe Rebellion or something, or Empire, Rebellion. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Republic and Underworld or something like that. Or then I even thought of like maybe Tales of the Syndicates or something like that,
I was just about to say, what about Tales of the Trade Federation?
or the Trade Federation. Yeah.
Tales
So,
of the Clones.
Tales of the Sith. Oh, Tales of the Tales of the Clones would be interesting.
Because if to go along with your theory of closing out all the extra clone episodes.
Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking Tales of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have any, like, what Sith would you want to see? I'll tell you mine right away. I would probably do. That's an opportunity, obviously, to do Darth Bane.
Darth Bane.
And I still think we need. I still think we need like Palpatine's fall.
We need Palpatine's fall. With Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, I think it would involve Darth Plagueis, obviously, but I
Yes.
think it'd be more about how he got to Palpatine.
But I'm trying to think because these shows tend to be in foils.
I know.
So
Yeah.
what's that foil? Is that
Well, Bane is. Yeah, Bane is starting the rule of
rule
two,
of
right?
two? The rule of two. So then
So however he is with his first apprentice could be maybe parallel to like, or opposite of
that
what
is true because if they go by the story, what is it? He's compassionate and he cares about his not his Padawan, his
apprentice.
apprentice. You see that loving care, but then you can have that foil with Plagueis poisoning Palpatine's mind.
Yes, right.
There you go. That could be your foil.
That's pretty good. Yeah. No, I didn't think of it that way. So I was throwing out names of people that
No,
were
but that could work. That could work
that
really,
could work
really
totally.
well. Or what you could do is you could do how the Sith, like you could take what they wanted to do with Acolyte and just show the bits they wanted to show. And show that with Palpatine infiltrating the Senate early on.
Oh yeah, true.
Now that's more of like a parallel comparison versus a foil, but you could do that too.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really like the idea of Bane with his apprentice and Plagueis with Palpatine.
You could do so with Tales of the Rebellion. That's interesting because I didn't think about the foil side of it because I mentioned
Honestly, you have Reign of the Empire right there.
you have what?
Reign of the Empire.
Yes, yes.
Like right there, you already have Organa and Mon Mothma
and Mothma,
being
right?
foils.
Or would it be Mothma and like Guerrera?
It could be Mothma and Guerrera.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote down. I was thinking like two people that popped in my head for rebellion wise was that we don't know much about their past is General Dodonna, who is like next to he's like next to Mon,
Yeah.
and then we know a little bit about him, but Wedge.
I was just thinking Wedge. But you
Yeah,
could still like because we don't know so much about the other guy you mentioned with Mon.
Dodonna. Yeah,
Yeah, Dodonna, you could easily create a foil there.
probably. So yeah,
And it could be like both of them are headed towards prestigious goals and prestigious honors, but Wedge decides to go rogue, which he technically does go a little rogue. But you could have him go more rogue and then he comes back versus him that chooses to keep with politics.
yeah, very good.
That's probably a bit of a stretch, but
No, yeah, and I do like like you said, the full side of it. So like Mothma and Bail make more sense, or Mothma and Saul. But again, it's in the book. Maybe it's a different time period, but
That could work.
but Mothma, the thing about Mothma is like you can even go back further than obviously Reign, right? And we don't know her early, or like her Chandrilla politics and stuff when she's from Chandrilla, and of course Saul and everything he had to endure when he was on Andor.
Yeah. Ay.
Or Baal, or maybe it is Baal at that point with Alderaan,
And that's then Bale dies.
That's really good. That's really good. Anyway, I was thinking of what could be next.
There are so many options of what could be next.
I know they can do a lot of these. If they really wanted to.
They really could.
And I think they will, because I think that they're pretty popular.
Sweet. Tales of the New Order.
Tales of the New Order, yep.
Tales of the Knights of Ren.
Yep. That's a big one.
Because then you get more of the history of the Knights of Ren.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just do Tale of the Knights. Do a Knight of Ren parallel with a Jedi Knight. Boom. Tales of the Knights.
Yep. And then you can obviously jump back to High Republic time or Old Republic time.
It goes on and on. Tales of the Academy. You have somebody at the Jedi Academy, someone at the Sith Academy.
Yep. That's true. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how far they go with this thing.
Indeed.
Okay, so close out this thing. A couple of comments from our last episode. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but we did talk about, I don't remember what we're talking about. It's called adapting. We're talking about like adapting like books to movies and things like that.
Yes.
Our buddy Thrawn Addict says, I did hear it's got one of the lowest budgets for a Star Wars movie since Revenge of the Sith. I would take a guess and say it's because they are shooting in LA and using the volume, which has me slightly worried because I would like a more movie feel scope wise. I was already concerned that it's basically season 4 turned into a movie. So I was Grogu and Mandalorian we were talking about.
Yes.
With that budget reveal.
Yes.
And then he says, I'm surprised Star Wars has never adapted one of their novels. So many novels are adaptations from books. Give me a High Republic trilogy, Lost Stars,
yes,
Alphabet Squadron trilogy, or even the Thrawn trilogy. I would even take the Aftermath series as well. That's what I would want to see.
That would be awesome.
Yes. Lucasfilm are announcing movies, hiring writers, and not really being able to figure out what story to tell. But you have so many stories right in front of them. I do understand where you're coming from, Hannah. Books usually better than the movies adaptations, but I think a very small percentage of Star Wars fans read the books, so a lot of the audience wouldn't compare it.
No, that's a good point.
Good point. I failed to put this on my notes, but that for some reason when we were talking about new movies, it just reminded me of. You remember we kind of talked about apparently a Star Wars movie getting a lot of steam right now is Sean Levy's movie. And apparently what I read was, God, what did I read? I read, oh man, what's his name? You would know, I think, I don't know. Jesse Plemons. He was in Breaking Bad. He was in he was in I knew him from Friday Night Lights, the TV show.
Him.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's married. He's actually married to Kirsten Dunst.
Oh.
He apparently has been offered the villain role in his movie. And apparently that movie is getting, I mean, it's secretive right now, but it's apparently being fast-tracked, according to reports.
Interesting.
So we may be seeing that movie sooner rather than later. Apparently, it's a smaller budget. It's a more isolated story. Again, rumors are Ryan Gosling is apparently the lead.
Mm-hmm.
The female, I can't remember. Now I'm drawing a blank now. Are you looking it up too?
Yep.
Is yeah, okay, it's the girl from this is why this is big news. I don't know why. My memory is getting bad, I think. Anyway, it's Jodie Comer.
Yeah.
Who plays Rey's mother.
Yes.
In Rise of Skywalker. In a flashback.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Huh.
Now, she also has worked with Sean Levy. She was in Free Guy as the female lead there.
Great movie, by the way.
I love Free Guy.
It's such a good movie.
It's so good.
Oh, with Ryan. Oh my gosh.
Me and my daughter love that movie. Like whenever it pops on TV, I'm watching it. It's like it's so good. I mean, Taika is so good in it.
Oh
Taika Waititi.
He's amazing. I know he's a really good director, but he's an amazing actor.
He is. I agree. He's very funny.
I'm sorry. Still, one of my favorite roles of his is Hitler in Jojo Rabbit.
I know you've mentioned that a lot.
I know, like he's hilarious.
I gotta watch that. I haven't seen that. But Sean Levy, you know, obviously with Free Guy, that success and the success of obviously Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
So like he's on a roll right now, and you know I feel like that's what they were trying to fast track him with this. So Ryan Gosling, possibly Jodie Comer, possibly Jesse Plemons. I mean, this is a good cast, a really good cast. So I'm very, very interested in what this movie is going to be about.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks Thrawn for reminding me, thinking about that. Let's see. Kamar J says, I would second what Thrawn said. There's so much well-written material out there that they could adapt. Unless they hired the worst screenwriters in the world, Lost Stars in live action would work. It's something I think fans would enjoy as much as Rogue One. I could easily see the Aftermath series also being well-liked in a trilogy format. The most recent Thrawn stuff might even adapt okay if they didn't have to paint every actor blue, but I digress. The writers for Andor and Mandalorian seem to get Star Wars on a level that I trust they could make those great.
All right. Also good points.
Very good points. Yeah. Lost Stars is a good book.
So good. Another really good one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sean Levy. That was some big news. I'm sorry I didn't put that in the front, but there could be something announced again. Celebration. That something. There's rumors that might be something they announced there, but okay. That's it, Hannah. I don't want to keep you. I know you got work tomorrow. You got to shoot. We are going to be back next week as we gear up for Andor. You know what? Let's see. Andor. Yeah, see, next week is... Okay, so we'll do a show right before Celebration, so we'll talk about Celebration after that That'll be a big show because we'll talk about the Andor episodes, everything released at Celebration.
I'll have my coffee before bed.
Yeah, maybe we just start a little earlier. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Of course, thanks to our patrons, as always, for all the support. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, check out patreon.com/InsideTheForce. Go to YouTube to get all of our shows. We've got brand new Beyond the Sagas up there where we talk about Rise of the Red Blade. We talked about Thrawn, the second book in the Thrawn Ascendancy trailer. So we got more to do coming up soon. And as soon as Hannah gets back, we got to pick up on some more commentaries. Things like that. So
much.
Yeah. Thank you, Hannah. I know you're out of town. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
No problem, everybody. Take care. Go watch some Andor. Get ready for that season 2, and we will see you next week. May the Force be with you.